My name's Abigail, and you're listening to Absolutely Me.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of Absolutely Me. I'm your host. My name is Abigail, and welcome to all you listeners who may be brand new. I know every time I put out an episode, there's people who listen who have never listened to another episode before. So if that's you, I'm super happy to have you here. I have to be honest with you guys today. I did not want to record this episode. It's in fact been quite some time since I've really wanted to record an episode, and I don't know what it is, because it really does make me happy, and I really do like hearing from you guys and from the feedback and things that you are telling me about the podcast. I know there's a lot of you who have been reaching out to me and telling me you've been sad that I've been kind of taking a break. This is the first podcast I put out in a month, which doesn't feel that long, but it also does feel like a really, really long time. So I just want to say, first of all, thank you for being listeners of this podcast and for caring about it and for caring about what I have to say. It's kind of a weird feeling knowing, and I've said this in so many podcasts, but it really is a weird feeling, knowing that as I'm recording this, there are people who are going to listen to this and hear the sound of my voice and hear all my inner thoughts. And it just is, it's so wild to me. And it's hard to not feel a lot of pressure with that. And this really just started off as a hobby for me. And I really didn't think this many people were going to be interested in listening to my podcast. I won't lie to you guys. I thought maybe 10 people, my family and my close friends would listen to this. So I'm going to get 10 people who listen to this. It's not going to be that much. And then it's been a lot of people, a lot more people than I expect. And even when I'm not putting out episodes every week, I still get listeners every single day listening to my podcast. Every single day since I've started putting podcasts out. Well, not since I started, but the past few months, every single day there's at least one person who listens. It's usually many, many more than that. And because I really just feel a lot of pressure putting these out, I just really didn't want to put this one out today. I've been procrastinating it for weeks and weeks, and I don't know if there's a lot of pressure in my head because I know there's so many people who are listening to this, and it started off as a hobby thing, and now there's a lot of people relying on it, and that stresses me out, and I want to do everything perfectly and do it all, just have it be perfect. And I'm really just an all or nothing person, and so if I can't have it exactly perfect, if I'm not doing it exactly perfectly, then I can tend to be really hard on myself, which is not fair to me and not fair to you guys. Not really, nobody should really feel that way, but I've just really been feeling that lately, where I know I'm not doing it exactly perfectly the way I want it to be, and it's been harder getting people to come on the podcast, and I've had a real lack of motivation, quite frankly, to reach out to people and get people on the podcast. And when I do record an episode, it's just such a load to go back and edit it and post on social media for it and do all these things. And I have so many other things I want to do with the podcast. I got some tech so I can start recording video for my podcast. So I can post video on YouTube and post clips on Instagram and all that stuff a lot of really successful podcasts do. And so I want to make a website. I want to change my cover art. There's all these things that I want to do with the podcast. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself, and I know that. And I know I just need to chill out and realize that it's not that deep, and that it's okay for me to just speak my mind. And you guys seem to really like my solo episodes. A lot of my solo episodes have more listens than the episodes I do with other people, which is quite hilarious to me, because I feel like the reason I started this podcast is because I wanted to like have other people talk and share their experiences, and you guys just really love my solo episodes. But to be honest, sometimes I feel like I'm kind of a boring person, so I don't, which I know is not true. I know I'm not a boring person, and I really need to stop thinking that about myself. But obviously I'm entertaining enough that, lots of you are listening to this podcast right now. So anyways, now I'm just rambling now. So there's been a lot on my mind lately with the podcast, and I'm going to really try and be better at putting out weekly content for you guys. And as I'm recording, I probably am not even going to edit this podcast, to be honest. So I'll probably just do it, upload it right to the website, and it'll be out tomorrow. It's Thursday, and this episode's coming out tomorrow. Same theme for the last episode that I did. I recorded it like super last minute, but I just decided I needed to get it off my to-do list and get it out for you guys. And just know I'm really grateful for you listening, even though I know it's kind of chaotic and things aren't perfect, and I just really appreciate it. So thank you guys for being here. I feel like I need to give you guys a life update, and the last month, it feels like there's so much that has happened. I was thinking before I started recording this, all the things that I could even update you guys on. And I guess a big update, I'm currently recording this podcast in my boyfriend's house. He's out running some errands and doing some other stuff, but I'm recording it in his house right now, and I'll actually be moving in to his house in just a few weeks. So within the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be moving all my stuff in. I've slowly been moving in. And over the next 2 weeks, I have to be out of my apartment. So that's really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be really awesome. I love being here, and it's really fun for us to just pick things out together. And we're getting new bedding and new bed, and just random house things that we can pick out together and to make it our space. And I'm really excited, and it just feels like a good move. So that I'm super excited about. And I have been doing some random other things. In an attempt to be cool like I was at the beginning of the summer, as I was doing kickball and starting this podcast and having all these hobbies, I've been trying to come up and do some other things. And I have recently started reading, and I bought an entire series. I'm on the second book right now, which is incredible. Usually I'm a pretty slow reader, and sometimes I'm pretty self-conscious about it, and it takes me quite some time to finish a book sometimes, and I just get so distracted. My ADD or ADHD or whatever, it just goes all over the place, and so it's really hard for me to sit and focus on reading sometimes, and I lose interest in the books really quickly. But I'm on the second book, and I started a book club with my friends to kind of encourage myself to read more. And I'm hoping that it's going to force me when I have a deadline of books that I have to read. I'm currently reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, the series. I'm on the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury. I'm only 125 pages in. It's 600 pages. So I'm only a sixth of the way done. But I have been doing pretty good with reading it, and I'm proud of myself, and hopefully I'll actually be able to get through the series. That's my goal. I have all the books in my car. I have all of them, and so far so good. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. I have a lot of thoughts about A Court of Thorns and Roses. I don't know if you guys are interested in any of those thoughts. If you guys are, like, let me know, and I can maybe do a separate episode about it. But for those of you who haven't read A Court of Thorns and Roses, probably wouldn't be as interesting. But I do recommend it. I will say, when I first started reading it, I was told it was pretty spicy. And you know what? The spice is, I mean, I'm only in the first 6 of the second book, but the spice really is not what drew me in. The plot is very good. I told my mom it's kind of like reading like Lord of the Rings, but for women. So I like that. The plot's really drawing me in. I keep coming back to it. So hopefully that'll keep sustained. That's what I'm reading right now. There are a lot of really good places that I've been eating lately. Anybody who knows me, like, I'm such a foodie. I think about food morning, noon, and night. I am just completely obsessed with eating food and trying new places. And I live in Utah, and so I've just been trying to explore places that are local and just like around. And I hesitate to share this with you guys. I want to gatekeep it so bad because it's so good, and my boyfriend and I are literally obsessed. But we've been going to this place called Oakwood Fire Kitchen in Draper, and it's so good, you guys. It's so good. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it, but oh my gosh, it's like our go-to place now. Like, we go there all the time, and the food, just everything we've ever gotten there is so good. Like, it just slaps. It's so good. I went on a girls trip with a couple of my female friends. Shout out Savannah and Ashlyn and Riley. We went up to Park City 2 weekends ago and stayed overnight, and we went to Bonavita on Main Street in Park City. I got this like cheese ravioli with this like mushroom tomato sauce, and it was so yummy. And they gave us all this bread. I like dipped my bread into it and just died. I love Italian food. Like, most people, like people who don't like Italian food, like, just please go away, because how can you not like Italian food? It's insanely delicious. And that was like really good. My boyfriend and I went to this other place in Park City, and it was called Cafe Torigo, and it's like a French place. One of the best meals, if not the best meal I've ever had in my entire life. We got the charcuterie board to start. Oh my gosh, they had like homemade pickles, like all these little jams and all these little like meats and cheeses and breads and crostinis. Oh, it was so good. And then I got smoked chicken Alfredo, and my boyfriend got this salmon that was just to die for. And then we got a bread pudding for dessert. The whole meal costs about, I don't know, $125 for the two of us. So it's not a cheap place to eat, but like, it was seriously one of the best meals I've ever had. And my boyfriend and I are on a hunt in Utah to find the best bread pudding, and Cafe Torigo, #1 best bread pudding that we've eaten so far. And trust me, we've been dating for a year, and we've eaten a lot of bread pudding. So that's our favorite that we found. We also went to this restaurant in Utah. It's Red Rock Brewing Co. And I was like pleasantly surprised with how good it was. I got this like sweet potato. It was like this sweet potato ricotta stuffed pasta. And it was insanely delicious, and I think about it all the time. And we also got bread pudding from there, which was also very good, a good option. And there's just like a lot of other places. I could talk about food and places we've been eating for a long time, but there's a lot of good food I've been eating lately. And what I've really just been obsessed with, like probably most of you, is Trader Joe's fall items. And if any of you guys listen to the Bad Broadcast, I listened to her episode this week, and she had like a whole section on just pumpkin and fall items from Trader Joe's that she liked. I listened to that. I just consumed that segment, just like gobbled it right up, and agreed with pretty much a lot of the things that she said. But something that I've been obsessed with from Trader Joe's lately is the gluten-free pumpkin pancakes. My boyfriend and I make these all the time, and they're super easy, and they're so good. They're so good. I haven't tried the regular pancakes, but they're just so good, and I'm literally obsessed. Some other pumpkin things that I've been obsessed with lately, and just some other Trader Joe things in general that I've been obsessed with, is they have, I can't even remember what they're called, but they're like pumpkin spice, and they're just like little circular like sphere cookie things. I have them upstairs. I can't remember what they're called. They look like cigars is what I joke. They're my pumpkin cigars, and they're so good. I'm probably gonna go eat one of those after this. And I saw this recipe on Instagram like a few weeks ago. I don't have a TikTok, so I'm sorry. I'm one of those people who look at Instagram reels, and I'm sorry about that, but also not really, because I cannot add another social media platform into my life. It just sounds like too much. But anyways, I have been obsessed with this recipe that I found on TikTok. My boyfriend and I make it like every 3 days. But you get Brussels sprouts, you get the sweet potato gnocchi, and you get the apple smoked chicken sausages. And you just like slice the chicken sausages. You cut the bottoms off the Brussels sprouts and like cut them in half, and then you put olive oil on the Brussels sprouts, and then salt, pepper, and lots of garlic powder, and then you put olive oil on the sweet potato gnocchi. You preheat the oven to 425, and you put them in for 22 to 25 minutes, and it's so good. We're like literally obsessed. Like I said, we eat it all the time. I just love Trader Joe's, and I got the pumpkin body scrub the last time that we went to Trader Joe's a few days ago. Obsessed. And these are just the things I think about, you guys. I think about food. I think about not letting you guys down and keeping on doing the podcast. Lately, I've been thinking about Akatar. It's just, there's things that I think about. Also, Taylor Swift is another big thing that I think about. And something that I'm a little bit obsessed with is Taylor Swift. And if any of you guys have been on social media at all, just recently, you will probably have seen that Taylor Swift went to the Chiefs game to see Travis Kelce play. And for those of you who are not Taylor Swift fans, I mean, isn't it just incredible the power that she has? You can't deny, even if you're not a Taylor Swift fan, that she has incredible power. The NFL Instagram page literally changed their bio to NFL in parentheses Taylor's version. The NFL did. They changed it to Taylor's version. And just insane stuff that's been happening since she went to that game. People are just losing their minds. Rightly so, because it's Taylor Swift. And Travis Kelce is just seeming to be completely obsessed with Taylor Swift. And isn't that all what we want, is just somebody to be just like head over heels in love with us? And I mean, not completely, because I did have somebody who was obsessed with me in not a good way. But this is a good way, it seems, so far. And I totally ship it. I'm such a fan. And I love that he just like towers over her. He's like 6'5" and she's like 5'11". And he just looks like he could beat up any of her ex-boyfriends. And I love that for her. And he just, all the videos of him like looking up into the crowd and like up to the box where she was sitting with his mom, and just being like, wow. I'm like, wow, come on. This is like out of a fairy tale book. This, like, we're living in a real life rom-com, you guys. So that I'm so excited about. I love Taylor Swift. Me, my sister, and my mom and my best friend got tickets to go to round 2 Taylor Swift next year in Canada. And I'm pretty excited about it. I won't lie to you guys. Even though I already went one time, I'm very excited. It's still 14 months away from now, and I'm still excited. By the time we get there, it'll have been like a year and a half since I saw her. So it'll be great. It'll be like brand new seeing her again. So I'm really excited about it. And I love Taylor Swift, and if you want to hate on her, then just let's not be friends, okay? Just kidding. You're allowed to have your own opinions, but I do really love Taylor Swift. I'm a little obsessed. I'm like running into the realms of obsession. And that's really a lot of my life updates, you guys. Moving in with my boyfriend, Taylor Swift obsessions, food, fall treats. You know what a good fall treat is? A chai latte. I've been obsessed. Speaking of obsessed, I've been obsessed with Starbucks chai lattes. If you've never had one, please do yourself a favor and go get it. But make sure you get 2 extra pumps of chai so it's like a little more spicy. I promise it's better that way. Shout out to my best friend Riley for recommending this drink to me and changing my life, quite frankly, because I'm going a lot of days. I'm going many days during the week, and it's becoming a problem. Much so where I have now had to include Starbucks in my budget for the month. That's how obsessed I am. There wasn't really a lot that I wanted to talk to you guys about on this podcast today. Just about some thoughts about life and things. And sorry I've been away for so long, and sorry I've been just really struggling to get these episodes out. And I have so many thoughts about so many things that it's hard sometimes to put them down and write them down and think about what it is I really want to say to you guys and like what it is I really want to talk about. And it just sometimes it feels like a lot of pressure, like I told you guys earlier. And so I'm grateful for you guys being here. I really am. And thank you for listening. And really the only big thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about today is what you guys want me to talk about when I record these podcasts. And I have some interviews with people that I've been setting up, and I really love interviewing people, but I really know that you guys love the individual episodes that I do all by myself. So if you'll just like DM me or let me know, follow me on Instagram at Absolutely Me Podcast and just DM me what you want me to talk about. I have a lot of ideas. There's lots of things that I feel like I could talk about. I don't want to be annoying or like do a lot of things that I just want to talk about. I want it to be things that you guys want to listen to as well. So let me know. I could talk about a lot of things. I could go on some rants about things that I think are stupid in the world. I could talk about things I'm really passionate about. I could talk about politics. I could talk about friendship. I could talk about a lot of things. So let me know the things you guys really want to hear. And I know this is short and sweet, but I hope you guys have a great Friday. And thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Absolutely Me. Thank you to everyone who helped make this possible. Shout out to Tanner Johnson for the amazing intro. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, tell all your friends. And we'll be back next Friday with another episode. Love you. Bye.